Yo, what's good everyone? Wesley Paul here, back once again, and today is that video where we're going to start piecing together our MPC expansion. We're going to go over everything we've looked at in the previous videos, so the drum kits, the presets, the sequences, the key groups. We're going to put it all together and make our final product. But before we get into that, just some things I want to quickly go over that was missed in the previous videos. So in video 1, we looked at creating a drum program template. And then in the later video, we looked at projects and we made a project template. But there was something I didn't show you. So, okay, I got this one here. This is my template. So if I was gonna make a beat now, I would be just putting my sounds now onto this program here. But what if I wanted to use sounds that was in another kit? So if we just open up any random kit there. So just say this has got sounds on there, right? Not that programs, go to the right program. So this program. But what if I wanted these on my program? Because I've already customized my program, and not just customizing it, but I've also MIDI mapped it. So if you go over here, so I've got my fader here that controls that only that program. So that specific program is controlled with this fader. So if I now use a different program to build my, or with another drum kit on there, then that's not gonna work. So what would I do? So well, there's a couple of things I can do. I could just come back over here and drag and drop those sounds individually in there, but there's a more efficient way of doing it. So you'd come over here to menu, you'd go to edit, you'd go to program, and then you'd go to copy pads. And then from here, so it's saying copy type. Is it a pad? So is it just one pad? Or do you want to do a whole bank? And there's A through to H, or you could do a range. Yeah, and it's saying from where. So we want to take it from this program. And let's just say, for example, we don't want to take all of them. We just want to take from pad 1 or A1 to A8. And we don't want to go to that one. I want to go to this one. And the starting pad's A1. Then when we press do it, what it will do now is copy those sounds onto this program. Okay, so you can do that just so you can have the sounds that you want from another kit onto the program that you want it to be on. Also, with Auto Sampler, you can consider ticking this box here, which will extend the min and max notes. So we spoke about the min max notes here and the note stride. So that's the range. So as it is currently there is C2 to C4, that is the range. But what you might not want is outside of that range, your keys to just be blank. So if you press that button there, then well, that's what I think happens. You won't have blank keys. Also, I know what I was saying about the layers, but don't feel obligated or feel that you have to use all 4 layers and that's necessarily going to give you the best sound, because it might not. Even if you look at other expansions, they've got some good sounds in there and they only use 1 layer, even on pianos and whatever. So don't feel like you have to use all of those. And I think that was it for that. The other thing I didn't really go into depth on is when you're creating projects and different MIDI mappings for different projects. So you see where I said you've got like global and project, but I'm not going to go over that in depth now. I might do that in a later video, so I can be a little bit more detailed. But anyway, let's get to our expansion. So we've got our folder So what I've done is I've just put everything in the main folder. The only thing that's not is the presets, which are in their own folder here. We've got our audio previews, which are in their own folder here. And we've got other folders that, because we made, we've added 3 projects, which was the general one, the mixing template, and the vocal recording template. So they've got their own folders, and then everything else is here. So we need to tidy this up and make sure this is exactly how we want it to be. So there's no files in there that shouldn't be, and most importantly, ensuring that everything is named correctly. Things being incorrectly named could be the difference between whether it works or not. So, as I said before, you're gonna have your programs, right, which are XPM files. And you might have a corresponding sequence. Do you remember I was saying, so with a sequence, you might want, when you open a sequence, it to open up with a program. So in order to do that, the sequence and the program should both have the exact same name. Also, it's the same with your audio previews. If you want to be able to audition your sounds, so when you come in here and you press on them here, if you want to be able to hear that like that, your audio previews have to have the exact same name as the program, so as the XPM file, including the file extension. Okay? So when you're doing the sequence and the program, within the title, it doesn't have to have the file extension, but it does on the audio previews. So you see, like, the full name here is the name plus XPM, but you only do that on the audio previews, not on the sequences. Okay, so what you could do is this filter type here. Well, you can filter it by type. No, let's filter it by name, sorry. And then what we should have is, like here, where I've got classic times, which is a SXQ, so a sequence, and right underneath it, I have an XPM. So one's a sequence, one's a program. They have the same name. However, you can see that the name is incorrect. It shouldn't be named like that. That means I didn't follow the correct naming invention. It should have like INST for instrument dash keys dash classic times. Okay. So you would go through that there, make sure everything is named correctly, make sure every sequence that should have a program is all in there, so that the sequence and the program. And once you've done all of that, you can go into these folders as well, where you've got other projects, make sure everything is in there as it should, and there's nothing in there that shouldn't be in there. And then once you've done all of that and that is good to go, what you need to do is open up your MPC Expansion builder. So this one here. And then you will get something that looks like this, except it won't have an image and it won't be filled in like this one. So it will tell you here what you need to do in terms of filling this out. So it will be like, if you've got a website, you'd sort of write it backwards, as in com dot your name dot the name of the expansion, or you could put personal dot your name dot the name of your expansion, the title of your expansion, this one here, best expansion, manufacturer, I just put my name, version 0.001, because you might do an update. So just so you know the different variations, if I update this one, I might move to version 2. Description, you might want to do a better description than that, just so you know exactly what it is, especially if you're making an expansion to sell. Where it's got name separator, we separated our names with a dash or a hyphen. So you remember when we was doing our programs and it was like hip hop dash kit dash the name. So we had the dashes in there. So we're going to put that dash in there to say that's what we're using to separate. And then we're going to click here and locate the folder, where the folder is. So, you just press there and go through that there. And then you need to add an image. What I did with my image, just to keep it simple, is I used AI. I used, I don't know, Copilot, just typed in create an MPC expansion picture, and then just add the title, just add the title. So yeah, you could just get AI, or you could go to a graphic designer if you want, or design it yourself if you're good like that. Or if you're not, yeah, ChatGPT, Copilot, create an image. What might happen, they might, if it's a PNG file, it might not work. So you literally just drag and drop the picture on here. If it, I tried earlier with a PNG and it just wasn't working. I had to convert it to a JPEG, and then it worked. And then once that is all sorted, you press do it. And then I'm getting a warning message because not all of my programs have sequences attached to them. I think that's what it's saying. So it's saying issue and warning, but don't worry. This is fine. I'm happy with all of this. I knew this was going to happen, and it's cool. I'm just going to press create. And then I need to choose where it's going. So let's put it here. Let's just put it in here and put the name of it. And now it is creating it. So it takes a few moments to create. And then once it's finished creating it, it should say something like successful. And then you're going to navigate over to the folder where you have just saved it. I mean, you can save it back into the folder with all of your other stuff, or you can pull it somewhere different. That's up to you. Okay, the XPN file has been successfully created. Okay, keep this open. So just in case there's any errors and you have to go and fix it, you don't have to do that all again. We're just going to move that to one side. And then let's go over to... All right, so we're going to go into the folder there. See, there it is there. And now we need to click and drag that into the software. And then it comes up like that. Press import. And now, oops, that's not ours. Let's look for our one. There it is right here. So as you can see here, we've got our programs. We can try some of them. Let's see. Yep. So the audio previews work there. Our presets are all in here. Let's open one up. Yep, so hype opened. And project. Yep, our projects are in here, so we can open up these if we wanted to. And sequence. So we've got our sequences here. So if I was to just drag in, let's just drag any of those in. Yep, you see how that opened onto track 10. You got that one there. Or we could do this one, which is going to open up into a new sequence. And we can choose where we want that to be. Actually, let's close that one. Let's look at chord progressions. Let's put that on to 10. And then we can come down here, look, chord progressions. And there's our chord progressions there. So on programs, you'll see some of these work. These, nothing's auditioning because we didn't do anything. I think those ones were just to templates. And if you do that and it doesn't work, then maybe, see, like this one, the classic ties one doesn't work. If it's not named correctly, that's what would happen. It won't work. As in, yeah, you have to follow all the name and stuff correctly for it to work. These ones, there was no sounds attached to them, which is why, because they're just blank. So there was no audio previews for those. And then the samples, got all the samples in here. So yeah, as you can see, it worked. We created our very own expansion. And I think that is it for this one. I'm not sure what the next video is going to be, but for now, and you guys just consider making your own expansion. Go have some fun, play around with it, put some stuff in there. This was just a little play around one just to show you what you can do. But as you can see, there's lots of benefits. Like, look, just to open up different different VSTs now. If you just on here, a quicker way to just navigate through your VSTs. Your sequences, just like I said, look at this sequence. I've just got a load of chord progressions in here, so I could now just go through playing these. Let's put that, and oh, there was no programs on this one. But I could just load in a program now, go through these, see which one I like, add it towards my project. You know, there's lots of things we can do. But anyway, that's it. We created our very own MPC expansion. So I'm gonna leave that one there. Say take care, peace out.